while I was at the vet with Marley, I got a phone call that the police were here. They were harassing my boyfriend and accusing him of chopping off Marley's tail. All right, now tell me what happened.
They came up and said, "Why'd you chop off the cat's tail?"
Marley loves my boyfriend. He's not upset with my boyfriend. He doesn't even care if my boyfriend touches his tail. This video contains content that may not be suitable for some viewers. Eugene accidentally injured one of my cats that has been in many of my videos in the wee hours of the morning. And while I was at the veterinarian with the cat the next day, the Humboldt County Sheriff showed up at my house to arrest my boyfriend for injuring the cat. They were also ready to confiscate all of my cats. Anyway, he didn't get arrested. They didn't confiscate my cats, but they threatened to arrest him in the future and confiscate my cats in the future. So in this video, you will see the horrific, gruesome injury that Eugene accidentally caused to one of my cats. If you get nauseous easily, do not watch this video because it really was quite horrific and it was quite accidental. And Eugene woke up this morning crying and he said, "Mommy, are the police going to take the cats? Are the police going to take me?" So I have to put this online, and I am very, very sorry because it really was very disgusting, and this video will show some blood and gore and things that people probably don't want to see. You have been forewarned. I am now going to show you what happened to one of my cats, why it wasn't my boyfriend's fault, and why we were harassed by the police. Because I have been having like a nervous breakdown since this happened, and I have been waking up panicking, nearly in hysterics, in fear that the police are going to take away my cats, my children, or harass me or my boyfriend. And I have been harassed by the police numerous times. At one time they busted up my house, took away my medical marijuana, and turned off my power for 2 years. Another time I was beaten up by 2 police officers, as I have talked about before. Anyway, without further ado, here's the story of how my cat got accidentally injured by Eugene and my boyfriend almost got arrested for it. Eugene just shut Marley's tail in the door. And it looks like really, really bad.
He's in shock.
This will require emergency vet care.
No, Adrienne.
Oh, I know how bad it is. I know how bad it is. The vet's gonna have to, like, sew it closed or even amputate part of his tail. Oh, gosh. I know you didn't mean to hurt him, Eugene. We all know you didn't mean to hurt him. Now that he's using the litter box, we're gonna have to sterilize his wound.
Stop crying, Eugene.
We know you didn't mean to slam his tail in the door.
Stop crying.
Oh my God. My boyfriend is gonna clean his wound as best as possible, put some antiseptic ointment on it, and bandage it as soon
You
as
have to
possible.
stop crying.
Eugene, please calm down. We know you didn't mean to hurt him. He doesn't even seem to realize it happened yet. For some reason, Marley is like not even seeming scared or upset that it happened.
Oh God, you had to cut out a bear.
Just do not let him lick it.
Oh my God.
These are for cutting the tape.
No.
Just don't let him lick it. We have bandaged Marley's tail and put a cone on him for the night, but Eugene is really, really upset.
It was an accident.
I know
It
it
was-
was an
He
accident.
was just really excited.
He was really excited. Marley was in his room, and he tried to close the door to keep him in his room.
I'm so sorry. It's not sorry how he holds the cat.
Where's the diapers?
The way we heal this cat
Okay,
is to
diapers.
take him to the vet. They're behind you.
Stop crying.
We just had to do the most horrible thing that I've ever had to do to a cat in my entire life. We had to cut off the piece of Marley's tail that was hanging on by a thread and profusely bleeding. His tail is now damaged, as you can see.
Oh, it's much better though than before.
Yeah.
It's like a clean wound instead of like a nasty wound that could get infected.
Yeah, it was like a piece of his tail this big, hanging on by a thread that big and gushing blood.
Yeah, it'll look better whenever it's all done with too. Like that would have never healed right.
And there are no vets open at this time of night where I live.
And if they were, we don't have $1,600.
They would charge $300 as just an emergency fee beyond the normal fee to see the cat if they did answer the phone. But I will
I
have
can't
to
believe
take
how
him
much
to the vet in the
blood
morning.
came out of this cat.
Yeah. I'm kind of in a state of shock right now, but after I wash up, I'll try to set up like a GoFundMe page or something for people to donate money to Marley's emergency vet care. Marley is now sleeping on my bed, seeming almost completely unfazed that he lost a few inches of his tail.
That's nasty.
Yeah, it was nasty.
Mommy, you have
There
to
is blood
water.
all
You
over
have
me.
to water.
I have posted on Facebook and asked people to donate to a local veterinarian that opens early in the morning and is the only local veterinarian that is always guaranteed to see cats on an emergency basis without people having to wait for days for their pets to be seen.
Hey, Mommy, what are you doing?
I'm taking a video of Marley.
We're so sorry we had a clean tail, Mommy.
Yeah, Marley, we're so sorry.
Yeah, but Frankie say thank you for saving me.
Yeah, if we hadn't cut off the piece of tail that was hanging off, gushing blood, he very likely would have bled to death. So we did basically save his life by cutting it off to stop it from bleeding.
This?
To prevent him from, like, bleeding to death. That's a bow tie.
A bow tie?
Yep, it's a bow tie.
Hey, how about
It fell off of a cat's collar.
Hey, how about you? How about you put on that hat?
I'll put it onto his collar after he recovers from being injured. And he no longer has to wear the cone.
Please. Please, you look good on it. Marley, I love you. I'm sorry. Marley, I love you. I'm sorry. Hey, but I didn't tickle you. And that panicking. That's good luck.
I don't understand how he is, like, not acting like he's scared or hurt or anything. Even though, like, inches of his tail were cut off. He's basically acting like normal Snarly Marley. He does seem a little bit nervous and traumatized.
Yeah,
But
you
not
look
like
a best
you would expect him to be.
Belly! I'm tickling his belly! And he's not going to scratch me! Ow!
Eugene is trying to read Marley a book. It is now almost 2 in the morning, and my boyfriend is trying to get Eugene to go to sleep. I am about to go to sleep also. I will be waking up at 7 in the morning when the veterinarian opens to try to arrange for Marley to get the care that he needs. He did pee all over my bed and my pillow. but that's okay. That's to be expected. He may have spinal cord damage from the tail injury. I'm at the vet with Marley, and my phone is about to die. Marley is now back in the house. While I was gone, the police showed up and accused my boyfriend of some kind of animal cruelty. Apparently, someone reported to the police that my boyfriend chopped Marley's tail off to be cruel, not because it was gushing blood and a piece was dangling off and he could have bled to death. Anyway, the vet said that the wound is
Hey, now we have
actually healing perfectly. Eugene shouldn't touch his tail though, at all, because it's actually healing perfectly and didn't even need stitches. And there's a small possibility it might cost $300 to amputate another inch of it, but that's unlikely. And the only reason that his tail is like that, not needing like a $1,000 surgery, is that we cut the piece that was dangling off and gushing blood, and he would not be like okay if that hadn't happened.
So
And
they said it would be
cost
worse?
Hundreds of more dollars, maybe $1,000 also. So we did the right thing by chopping off the dangling piece.
The cop told me never do it again.
Well, the cop is wrong, and I have video evidence to prove all of this. I have a video of how it was, like skin down to the spine. I have a video of how it looks now. I gave Marley some canned cat food. He's having somewhat of a hard time eating with the cone around his neck, but the second I took it off, he started to chew on his tail. So I had to put it back on. He ate some canned food. I guess he's eating more now. And I'm about to give him his medications. I am now going to give Marley his medication. This is an antibiotic, and this is a pain medication. Marley does not like to be medicated, but it's pretty easy to just hold him and squirt it in his mouth. And my boyfriend and I have been having a nervous breakdown all day in fear that the police are going to show up and arrest him for animal cruelty, take my cats, or even take our children, or even our chickens. Marley is called Snarly Marley for a reason. Look how much he scratched my hand and my arm when we were bandaging his tail twice. I am now going to attempt to give him his antibiotic. I may have to take this cone off your head to be able to reach you, Marley. The cone kind of makes it easier. He can't scratch me. It's going in his mouth. It's going in his mouth. Some of it's going onto the cone, but most of it's going into his mouth. I got all but 0.3 of 0.8 milliliters into his mouth. So 3/8 are left. Marley, you need one more little squirt. And then I'll wipe out your cone. Good God. Oh, he's gonna scratch me. He's very resistant to it going into his mouth. I've just got to like kind of stick my finger in his mouth. Ooh, God, he scratches. I'm so sorry, Marley. You're so hard to medicate. Ah, I got it in his mouth. Ow. Wombat's kittens are outside right now. Well, kind of. And so is Wombat. Can you tell which one is Wombat? And that one is the bobtail one that was born with a bobtail, as you can see. His name is Pot. See, it says Pot on his side. The father of these kittens, by the way, is Spot. It says Spot on his side. And that one's name is Cot because it says Cot on his side. See that? And there's Wombat. Toad is the one with the orange collar. The runt has not been named, nor has the blue-collared kitten that I'm probably going to give away today. I actually arranged to give him away about 2 weeks ago, but I have not seen the lady. I don't know her number, but I do know where she works, so I will be probably giving him away today. And they're not only outside getting some fresh air, this will also make it easier to medicate them. I have to give all of these kittens and the mommy medication today. Meow. Meow at me like you just were.
What are you medicating the cats with?
Dewormer, antibiotics, and ear mite medicine. And then I'm going to feed them some of this canned pork, which I don't want to feed them inside because it will make them have smelly poops that smell like pork. So,
It's a petting zoo.
it's a petting zoo of kittens. My friend already came over and asked me if she could have a kitten, but then she drove away, so I don't know if she's taking a kitten.
Adrienne is in the cage.
I also just realized I don't have a bag for trash to put the plastic that these are in. I'm gonna grab each cat and give that cat all 3 medicines.
My God, the cat's attacking everyone.
Come a little bit closer.
Bless you.
Yes.
Are these your favorite cats?
These are all of Wombat and Spot's kittens,
Oh,
except for the black one.
this is just the kittens. I can't tell
No,
if
this
that's
is Wombat, and these are her kittens.
that's Wombat.
That's Toad.
That
Toad's
one's
bigger
Toad.
than ow.
Toad. I can't tell which one's Toad and which one's Wombat. Toad looks
That's
like.
Toad. That's Wombat.
So who's bigger, Toad or Wombat?
Toad's bigger.
Toad's not that much bigger.
Which one did I just give it to? This one, right? Ow! And one more thing, ear mite medicine. Now it's gonna freak out because they hate when that stuff gets put in their ears. This is Toad. This is Eugene's favorite cat. Whenever the kittens were much smaller, he picked it up and randomly decided that it was his favorite, named it Toad. Apparently after Super Mario.
Oh my god. This cat. He's like the hardest to medicate.
No, he's not. Jason's the hardest to medicate. And one more thing, ear mite medicine. That's the thing they like the least. Having them in this little space makes it much easier to medicate them though, because they can't run away. Hey, they do that when they get ear mite medicine put in their ears. They shake their heads. They're supposed to eat food after taking that antibiotic and that dewormer. So I'm gonna feed them some of this canned pork.
That's a big can. They
Some
seem
of
to
it is
be
gonna be fed to
like
some of my other cats.
wanting to eat it before you can even open it.
Oh, I'm sure. Oh,
Let
wow.
me see that.
Look
Wow,
at that. That looks really
like
good,
pork
actually.
goodness.
If you eat pork, it doesn't look too bad. It's big chunks of actual meat. The cats are about to go crazy over
Possibly
it.
mechanically separated. Looks like what would be normally in sausage.
It smells
Wow.
like it's very
Oh,
salty.
it's very porky. Oh man, look at the one with the green collar. Oh, it can't get enough of it.
Okay, stop recording and let me out of here. I gotta get a video of this.
The one's dragging off a big chunk of pork.
Hand me my phone. Look, there were big chunks of pork fat at the bottom of the can.
And look really good, actually.
We are looking
We
at
could
the
do
ceiling in
trimming.
room C,
Where
where
they meet up.
some people who
Even
were
if they were
staying at our
staggered.
house put the drywall up in the ceiling incorrectly. It does not meet up with the stud.
No.
And we are discussing what we can do to fix this, to make this a usable room
Yeah.
as soon as possible. We're thinking of using some wood paneling that I got for free on the ceiling. And there is my kitchen sink that's supposed to be in my kitchen. As you can see, it is not in my kitchen. As you know, my temporary sink is still in my kitchen. This is one of the panels. My boyfriend is going to measure this panel and see how big it is and count the number of panels we have. And if we have enough, he's going to start
like the stuff out of my
them up
grandparents' home.
on the ceiling in room 6.
4 foot. Yeah, 5 foot.
My children really love the cats. And they love the chickens too. Yes, that's a kitty cat. That's Snowball.
Hey! Don't eat my food! That is your food!
Eugene and Evelyn are now eating sandwiches. Marley is licking himself. I had to take the cone off of his neck because he was freaking out. And so far he has not tried to lick his tail. And it seems to be healing. I'm not going to touch it, but I am going to show it to you. There it is. That's what it looks like right now. The children are eating dinner, and Snowball is also eating dinner. Angel and Autocar are in here too right now. I'm not sure where they are. Oh, there's Angel down there.
And 2 kitty cats are in here.
4 kitty cats are in here.
1, 2, 3, 4. Hey, I counted 4.
And Snowball can never go outside because she disappeared once and came back with her leg broken. Angel is probably about 18 years old, and I've had her since she was a tiny little kitten. She's never lived with anyone else except for me.
We have lived with anything else to have.
Well, she did live with us at an Airbnb with a few of my other cats for a few months. But she lived with us, not with other people. I think Marley has decided that his dinner is going to be scavenging what the children drop. Oh no, Marley's decided he needs to use the litter box.
Why does Tippy get to go outside?
Tippy actually doesn't get to come inside. Tippy is actually a cat that was dumped off here by a neighbor who moved out. She tries to come inside. All of my other cats try to attack her. She sprays everything in my yard and encourages my other cats to spray. So Tippy is basically like my outdoor cat now, having lived here for like a year. I am going to clean up the mess in here a little bit, and then my boyfriend and I are going to talk about getting harassed by the police on camera together in a little while, once I pick up things like tomatoes covered in something that might be mayonnaise on our newly installed floor.
Some
Everyone
chicken. I
just
could
had a
give you guys,
bath,
but
and we
I'm
are
sure
checking
I'm
out
bored with it.
what food we have to eat,
Oh man, this is gonna be dinner for tomorrow right here. Some split peas.
and
I'm
these
gonna-
clothes
if I go to
that our
Medicating,
friend gave
get
us
some
for
beef
free.
bones. I need to get a bunch of beef bones. And okay.
What is that?
Light tuna. Wild caught. Light tuna, water, vegetable broth, pea, and carrot. Oh, it's just a pea and carrot broth. That's all it
Pea
is.
and carrot broth.
Yeah.
I
No
gave the
oil.
cats some oil from some tuna that I used to make some tuna salad earlier. It's in that glass ashtray. Angel looked it all up.
This is what got all their attention, the macaroni and cheese.
Oh yeah, the macaroni and cheese got all their attention.
Yeah.
Look, I put a Hello Kitty pillowcase on the bottom of the baby changing table because the cats like to sit down there.
Now where is
She's
this?
right on the kitty. See, Marley loves my boyfriend. He's not upset with my boyfriend. He doesn't even care if my boyfriend touches his tail. Pet Angel. Hey, Angel. Remember the video I made a few years ago called Angel Lost Her Meow? It was like in 2012 or 2013. This is the video that I'm talking about. I'll put a link to it in the description of this video. I think Angel has been in my videos since I first started making videos. She also injured her leg outside. She used to go outside. Many of my cats used to go outside. my favorite cat, Bubba, that was in my original videos. Wow, did you see what Evelyn just did? She climbed over that. Anyway, as I was saying, my favorite cat, Bubba, that was in my original YouTube videos, lived to be 24 years old. And she died a few days after Eugene was born. Oh my goodness. Seconds after I recorded that clip, Marley knocked over the entire box of clothing. The cats. And what are you cooking for dinner?
Winko brand macaroni and cheese. 2% milk.
What's with all the empty drink bottles and open drink bottles? If you haven't seen it in my other videos, this is my temporary kitchen sink. We got it for free. There it is. It's somebody's old sink from a bathroom or a small apartment or something. It was free. And it works. There is my brand new oven.
Oh yes, I do need a cooking spoon.
That's not hooked up to gas. And there is our new used heater we were going to install until we found out that it has been recalled. And it also smells like it has been peed into by cats. But there is good news. Lasco, the company that made the 2 electric heaters that burned out in a power surge almost a year ago, has replaced one of the 2 heaters for free. See that? They sent me a new heater. And we have to install a second layer of wood in here, and then this tile backer board that is behind me. Where is it? There it is, tile backer board, and then tile. This entire floor will be tiled. And while we are tiling this floor, the cats will not be able to be in this part of the house at all. Obviously, because they would be like walking through basically liquid concrete when we spread mortar and stuff.
And they'd be messing up the tile job.
Yeah. A few years ago, Snowball walked into a wall that I was painting blue, and half of her fur got painted blue instantly. We had to like bathe her, shave her, cut chunks of paint out of her fur. It was horrible. It took hours just to clean her up. That looks really good.
I'm done.
Too bad it's
You're
not
done.
gluten free.
Yeah.
Good, dinner is done. I'm gonna have to
She wants to get the little pieces that fall.
vacuum the floor again
And this
after
many.
you feed her.
It's not foot 4. I'm changing it up, Mommy. Change the numbers.
When you add 1 to 3, you get 4.
1 and 2
And 3.
and 1.
Is that your only working vacuum?
No. I have another one for the living room.
10.
What's in the living room?
More of my cats. Many years ago, one of my cats had kittens. And when Angel was born, she started to meow. When she was a kitten, a few minutes old, she was meowing constantly, more than any of her siblings. And she has continued to meow like that ever since. I remember when she was a tiny little kitten, and she would jump on my lap while I was sitting on the toilet and start to meow. Eugene accidentally slammed Marley's tail in the door, and as you can see, a piece of it was cut off. While I'm upset about this, I'm also upset about what happened while I was at the vet with Marley. while I was at the vet with Marley, I got a phone call that the police were here. They were harassing my boyfriend and accusing him of chopping off Marley's tail. Alright, now tell me what happened.
They came up and said, "Why'd you chop off the cat's tail?"
Basically, it got slammed in the door. Sorry, Marley, I wasn't trying to touch it. I think that bothered him a little bit. It got slammed in the door, we bandaged it up, and then Marley chewed through the bandage. It was hanging by a thread and bleeding profusely, and he didn't chop off a piece of tail that was like going to be savable. The veterinarian certainly would have amputated it. He chopped off like a piece of tail that was like dangling by a little tiny piece of flesh, basically hanging by a thread and bleeding profusely. Basically, he saved Marley's life. Even if the veterinarian had been open at 12:30 p.m. when it happened, he could have bled to death before we got him to the veterinarian. So even if we were going to go to the veterinarian in the middle of the night, we still would have had to chop off the dangling piece of tail to even bandage it so he wouldn't bleed to death on his way there. Anyway, the police then harassed us about my cat's not having enough space, and they don't have enough space because we still have much of my house not finished being remodeled. And we're not happy about that. We don't want to be separated from the cats. They don't want to be separated from us. The cats. What was I going to say about the cats?
Come on in.
Oh yeah, come on in. We were just talking on camera about the police harassing him and marching up in my yard, screaming at him, accusing him of basically docking the cat's tails. They saw the bobtail kitten, and they said that they thought we were docking the cat's tails because we were breeding them, and we wanted to have cats with short tails.
What is that?
Docking them like what they do to like Dobermans, where they like chop the tail off to where it has a little stub.
But does anyone do that with cats? Or?
I don't know.
I don't get that.
I don't understand if they
a little bit, but yo, that's
ever got an understanding of
fucked up.
the fact that he didn't chop off his tail to be cruel. I did talk to the cops on the phone from the veterinarian's office and explain that it was like dangling from a thread and bleeding profusely, and if he hadn't done that, Marley could have died. I'm not sure if they understood that. I also said some things about the construction, and that when we were doing construction in here, the cats couldn't be in here. I don't know if they understood that either. They left yelling at him, telling him to never chop a tail off again, and threatening to come back to check on my cats.
I can guarantee
When they came here, they had 4 animal
the first
control
time that's ever
vans.
happened, right?
They were ready to take all my cats. They had 4 animal control vans,
Don't try to
and
make
they
a
looked
thing
at
out
them,
of it.
and they decided not to take them, but to come back and check on them. They threatened to come back and press charges against him and arrest him. They said, we could come back and press charges against you and arrest you later. So we have been, you know, shaking in fear that they're going to come back, arrest him, take the cats, take our children, anything.
They have nothing to go. I mean, it's all empty. Just them being on their adrenaline and aggressiveness and testosterone and whatever.
Yeah. Anyway.
They're not going to do anything, obviously.
Ow. Oh.
Man, he looks better than I would have.
He's not even upset. They gave him a little bit
Is
of
he pretty good looking
cat
little
less
morphine,
snarly now, or
but it was making
is he a little
him
bit
About the
more
same.
snarly?
Just the
about the
like
same
doped
snarly.
up. Worse than that, he's
Good for you, little boy.
not scared of doors either. He tried to like run through a door as it was closing again. We just have to be really careful. He's not too smart apparently. Snarly Marley might be stupid Marley. I think he wants to get out and fight with Tippy. All the cats want to fight with Tippy.
Right.
See, now you can see his tail really well.
It looks like
Since our friend is here helping us take the ceiling panels into room C, I will continue explaining why my house is not finished while we are in room C. So get ready to see room C again. Here's room C. In room C, as you can see, are some of the panels, some drywall, and some of our new doors that have not yet been installed. When we left my house last summer and came back expecting to find the bathroom completely remodeled and the kitchen partially remodeled, what we found was the bathroom and the kitchen ripped apart and my house uninhabitable. We ended up staying in hotels and Airbnbs for several months while I was pregnant, and I ended up giving birth to Evelyn while we were staying in an Airbnb. And during this time period, my boyfriend, with a little bit of help from my father and a few of our friends and some hired contractors, made my house barely habitable, fixing the bathroom, installing a temporary sink in the kitchen so we would have a sink in the kitchen at all. And we basically moved back into my house when we had completely run out of money. Our cars basically made it from our Airbnb back to our house and broke down here, and we ended up stranded here without a running car in a barely functional house for months. I have video footage of this. Some of it is on my hard drive that had to have the data restored on it by Seagate that's now encrypted, that I now can't access because it's encrypted, and I can't decrypt it from one of my own computers. Some videos of this are on a hard drive that I have, but I have not put them on YouTube because now I'm talking to lawyers, and the insurance company sent a homeowner insurance inspector this morning, really early in the morning. He banged on the door. We didn't know he was coming. We thought it was the police, and I started screaming, panicking, thinking the police were coming to take my cats. Anyway, it was just the insurance inspector coming to inspect my house, and I told him the story of what happened.
Hey, Mommy, will you hold this?
Yes, Eugene.
So you can light it.
It's a flashlight. It's Eugene's flashlight. Eugene is in here watching this room be remodeled.
Hey, look, I got this.
This room will eventually be Eugene's new room, and then Evelyn's room will be Eugene's old room.
But I want my room. I want that be my room still. It's going to be with internet.
There's going to be internet in here too.
Oh.
Yeah.
So,
it's taken over a year to get my house this much done. Okay, Eugene. And part of the reason is that we didn't have enough money, and another reason is that numerous other problems kept appearing, like flooding under our house coming up into our newly remodeled rooms. Anyway, we are getting very, very close to having this be a usable room, and also to having room D be a usable room.
What happened when we left?
When we left, I'm not exactly sure. The plumbers left my house in a state of disrepair. My father, who was supposed to be supervising them, kind of just watched them do it wrong instead of watching them in the sense of supervising and making sure they did it right. He just watched what they were doing, as in looking at it as it was going on, and watched them do it wrong. And they haven't answered the phone or any text messages. They basically ghosted me. They threatened to sue me at one point through email, but never actually followed through with doing it, and never answered any of my attempts to contact them.
Hey, what happened right here?
Here, somebody left a saw on the ground that you should not step on. Move back.
Hey, look, a quarter.
Oh, that's nice that there's a quarter.
Here you go.
And
You
there's
got
a saw.
it, Daddy.
And a cigarette pack. I think the people that ultimately put this drywall up for us were smoking cigarettes in here while they did it. And here is the shelf that I built to put on a wall somewhere so my cats could jump on a shelf attached to a wall. The doors to our kitchen cabinets. A bed that was in good condition about a
He's
month ago.
somewhere there. Just saw
In
someone.
1 second I will. After I say something about this bed. Our friend slept on this like a month ago, and the people who put the drywall up got it covered in drywall dust. They got everything in here covered in drywall dust, basically.
Hurry! There's someone under there, Mommy.
No, there's a fence over there. There's not a person over there.
No, I just saw a weird crawler.
One of the things these plumbers were going to do was tile up my walls about this high up to make my house more cat proof, so my cats who spray could not damage my house. They were not going to replace the doors. We were always going to do that ourselves. We just haven't had time to because my boyfriend had to do things like tiling up the walls himself. So as you can see, there are freshly tiled walls in my hallway, and the old nasty door is still there. We were also going to put outlets like this one, meant to be installed outside in places where it might rain heavily to prevent my cats, namely Donald, from being able to pee into my outlets. I found where Autocar was hiding. I guess he's going back to hiding there again. There's Autocar. Oh my gosh, it sounds like Angel's starting to lose her meow again. Sorry, Angel, I need to go see what's going on in the other room. What are you smearing on it?
Liquid nails.
Hey, wait a minute,
Don't get it on your nice shirt.
Oh yeah.
why does this? Why does see?
Show me your nice shirt.
No, it worked, man.
Oh!
I thought it worked.
What are you using?
No, we just gotta make sure it's actually working, and I don't know if it is.
It's not.
So
It's not working,
maybe we
we need
should come up with a
screws,
different
too.
strategy and just put in 4 screws on one side.
We know where the studs are because it's where the screws are here.
Yeah.
If I go get you that bag that you brought me earlier to fix the chair, will that do it?
Well, I don't think there's screws in it.
I'll get you some screws too. Stand here and hold it. I'll be right back. I am now, yet again, running all the way around my house in a big circle. I cannot tell you how many times I've done this in the last few years.
No, that's gonna do something.
That I don't think hit a stud.
No, but it doesn't.
There's a stud right
It
there
doesn't matter.
where these
It'll
screws
hold it
are.
That hit a stud.
There's the chair we didn't fix earlier. I made Eugene stop hanging out in room D because he was getting drywall dust on his clothes.
Writing adventure?
Eugene, we're gonna have to change your pants.
Press an activity button to play.
He's usually not up in the dusty construction zone, but he really wanted to watch his daddy. He was like screaming and crying that he wanted to watch Daddy work, and that I wasn't putting his shoes on fast enough, and he was gonna miss watching Daddy work. So I let him watch for a little while.
Let's write and draw anything you want.
Wow. There's Snowball. There's Snowball. Hi, Snowball. I'm gonna give these cats the same medication that I gave the kittens earlier now. Avatar's like the most beautiful cat, and he always poses looking like picture perfect. Can the volume be turned down on that toy?
Anything you want.
Look where Snowball's laying.
Yahoo! The apple makes the monkey's mouth water.
See, he's doing it again. You could have a few hundred perfect cat pictures if you just took a picture once a second. Oh my god. It's going slowly, but it's not going very quickly. It's a possum. Possum,
hey.
going around. Back behind rooms C and D. Wow, you got 2 put up already.
Not the best circle.
good.
It's got to be carved out a little bit here, but it'll work for now.
I just gave the kitchen cats flea medicine and dewormer. And I wash dishes by hand. We do have a dishwasher outside, as you've seen in my other videos, but sometimes it's just easier to wash them by hand than cart them all outside. And there is bad news. After I gave the cats dewormer, I was washing their medication syringes and one went down the drain.
Oh no.
Oh no! Again, there's a fork down there too. That's a mixture of flea medicine and cat hairball medicine. And the dewormer that I'm giving the cats is fenbendazole. What I was giving them in a liquid form is fenbendazole for goats. It's 100 milligrams per milliliter. Each cat pill is also 100 milligrams. The people at the pet store said that they use this for their puppies and kittens because it's easier to give them because it's in a liquid form. Because even if you mix it with the hairball medicine, like I mixed the flea medicine with the hairball medicine, it still tastes really bad to cats, and it doesn't cover up the taste as well, apparently, as whatever they put in the goat one. See that?
Medical supply.
It kills
It's not medical.
giardia, roundworms, hookworms, whipworms,
Isn't it amazing?
tapeworms, pinworms. It also kills coccidia. It just doesn't say so on this bottle. He's going under the sink and unscrewing the drain pipe to remove the fork and the cat medicine syringe.
Are those any good?
They've got a lot of pieces of stem in them.
Really?
Mm-hmm. To heat. Empty can into microwave bowl. Heat 2 to 3 minutes on high. Like you're gonna microwave them and eat them.
Come on.
And the flea medicine I gave them is a generic form of Capstar,
Let's brush our teeth.
which you can buy from the veterinarian, from a pet store, from Walmart, or online. It immediately kills the fleas and makes the cats kind of freak out and lick themselves for a few hours as the fleas die. See, they're all doing it. I'm gonna put the cone back on Marley's neck
Come on, Eugene.
before I go to sleep so he doesn't lick his tail in this licking frenzy. And Autocar is under there. He has knocked down some light bulbs and light fixtures to find a place to lick himself.
Come on.
Autocar is really freaking out.
Stand up, stand up, stand up.
From the
Oh,
flea
you're
medicine.
hurting so bad.
Now can I do it again?
You can sit down, yes. Lisa and her mother went to the movies.
Sorry,
Laura
cats.
went too.
At least you won't
Hey,
have
look at
fleas.
that, Lisa, these lights are out on 2 of the letters.
I'll give the flea medicine to the rest of my cats in the morning, so if the police show up tomorrow, all of my cats will be like madly licking themselves. No, seriously, people, I have like PTSD from the cops showing up to harass me numerous times. And I'm also like completely livid that when somebody shot my dog, even though I had a video of the suspect walking by my house and shooting an unloaded gun directly at my house, the police lied to cover for that person in court, and nobody got in trouble for shooting my dog. And when 6 of my cats went missing, all at once, the police never even investigated it. And several other times when my cats got mysterious injuries in the neighborhood that were likely caused by a person, the police also didn't investigate it. One of these times, I called the police like numerous times, begging them to investigate it, and they didn't. And now they're trying to harass my boyfriend for basically saving Marley's life. If anyone wants to know why we didn't get in the car and speed to the vet, it is because in the middle of the night here, there's only one vet that sees animals during emergencies, and they charge like $500 just for the emergency fee, besides the normal fees, and sometimes they don't even answer the phone. A few years ago, when I did have the money to pay the $500, they didn't answer the phone, and even if we had the $500 and had gotten in the car and had sped to the vet, he still could have bled to death before then, so we probably still would have had to have cut off the dangling piece of his tail that was gushing blood, stop the bleeding and bandage it before being able to do that. I'm going to wake up tomorrow morning in a panic, like I did today, and clean my cat's litter boxes because the police said that they smelled pissy when they were here. And I'm sure they did because I hadn't cleaned them because I'd been up all night taking care of Marley, and I also needed to buy a little more cat litter, and I hadn't had time to buy it. I really love my cats, and so do my children. My boyfriend loves Marley and the other cats, and he wouldn't hurt them even though he complains about things like the smell of their litter boxes. We're trying to get my whole house done so all of my cats can be running around in the whole house all the time. For example, my boyfriend just used some spare pieces of drywall to repair this drywall here. We eventually want to make our house look kind of like the house in this video.
The cats make the house feel alive. When we bought this house in 1988, it came with 2 outdoor, feral cats. And then the second one was hit by a car and had to go to the vet for quite a bit of reconstructive surgery. So we made her an indoor cat. And then to get her company, because the other one had been killed, we went to the shelter and adopted a couple cats, and that's just started down the road. Cheesecake, chocolate, nutter, butter, crumple, rumple, cookie, poppy seed, kuro, nui, secret, wasabi, coffee bean, donut. So they're all rescues. We adopt them from shelters as far south as San Diego and as far north as San Francisco.
This is their house, and we're living here with them.
All the rooms are connected. At night, sometimes at 2 or 3 in the morning, they'll start chasing each other on the catwalks, and they can go really fast, and it's pretty loud. It does wake us sometimes. Catwalks, I think the first one I built in 1995, for the walk, just the walks, I've probably spent $40,000 or $50,000. The koi pond is one of the favorite areas for the cats. They love to watch the fish. They also walk into the koi pond on the rocks, and even sometimes put their hands in the water. They've never eaten a fish. So with 15 cats, we have about 22 litter boxes throughout the house, and we put a lot of them in closets where we add ventilating fans that run 24/7 and ventilates outside, so there's negative air pressure, so the smell stays in the closets. We also have 5 Rumbas in the house that we run almost every day that do a really good job picking up cat hair, and then it's just us picking up after the cats a lot.
At first I thought, how can we get rid of these cats? But now I can't think of a single one that I'd want to get rid of.
And that is how we feel about our cats. As you can see, the litter boxes in here are clean right now. We're using the pine pellet type of cat litter. I'm not going to show you the other litter boxes in the other room right now because I'm just too tired to do so. I am now going to go to sleep. Good night, people. I'm going to end this video by showing you yet again just how cute and cuddly Adcarr is, and how soft he is, and how loving he is, and by showing you that Marley is doing well. He's a little bit doped up from the pain medication, I think. Oh dear. I'm gonna have to put the cone in his neck so he doesn't lick his tail. Snarly Marley.